So now Joseph leaves from the presence of the Pharaoh, get this, and goes throughout the land of Egypt. So now Joseph has to go throughout the land and now figure out how to bring this vision to pass. Where was Pharaoh? Being Pharaoh. Where was Joseph? Now see, y'all say chillaxing. No, Pharaoh was being Pharaoh. See, he was doing what people do. He says, you good at this. I'm gonna put you over there. Go do you. And if you do you, we're gonna be good. Right? So now he tells him, it's funny to hear y'all talk about it like that, because I see how people think. They're like, yeah, you chillaxing over there. You know. So you think your boss is chillaxing when your boss is being your boss. Well, see, look, some of y'all mad at me now. He part of the establishment. Listen, let me help you with this. The Bible does not paint Pharaoh as being evil. He's just being Pharaoh. And he lets Joseph, who was anointed to do what he does, do what he does. So when somebody delegates to you and they move out of the way, they just being right. Am I making sense? No, they don't want to come to the meeting. Why? You in there. You got that. I'm not anointed for that. You are anointed for that. Am I making sense? So now in the 7 plentiful years, the ground brought forth abundantly. So now here's the deal. How do I operate when I'm in my summertime of life where I'm bringing forth stuff? See, and this is the key, because we got this stuff happening. So now the question is, when I am in my season where things are building up for me, I operate differently than I operate when I'm operating in this season where I've got to store up and where I've got to do certain things. Every season has an action. Every season has an attitude. Every season has something that I'm going to do that I can use to take advantage of it. Every season has it. So understand this. Based upon my season, I've got to think about, how am I operating? I said it last week. If you're 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, then you're in the season now where you need to be building stuff. You're not in the season of enjoyment. You're not in the season of harvest. So that means you need to be grinding. Every degree you can get. Every certification you can get. Every bit of experience you can get. This is not the season to be lazy. You are not in the chill out season. So I don't understand why my boss be sitting like they just be in the office just chilling out. I walk by there every day, and it's like they be sitting there looking at the computer, just looking at the screen, ain't doing nothing. You know why? Because they're your boss. They're paid to think. You're paid to do. Am I making sense? But so now I'm going to say this again. So notice now he goes, and so the question is, how do I operate in this plentiful season? Because what I found that most of us do in this community is we eat when we're not supposed to eat. And we want to live a certain place and look a certain way before our season. And so what happens is you eat everything up that you earn. And you set your life up so that you're making 100,000, but your budget is 120. You're trying to live a $200,000 lifestyle with a $100,000 budget. You're trying to live a $100,000 budget lifestyle with a $50,000 budget. If you own, I'm going to say some mean things right now. I'm going to tell you. If you don't have any certifications and you don't have any degrees and you barely graduated high school, what do you think you're going to do in life? No certifications. I didn't say you got to go to college. I said no certifications, no degrees. You don't have any skill set that demands somebody gonna pay you. Nothing. You just you. You just 20 years of you. 25 years of you. 27 years of you. 30 years of you. And you have walked around jobs, being employed, but gained no skill set. What do you think is going to happen to you? Because you don't have anything where somebody has to look at you and say, I've got to give you this. Dr. Moody, school's not my thing. I've heard this argument a lot. School's not my thing. I say, okay, school's not your thing. So you want to be an electrician. You're going to have to take a class. You're going to take a test. So you want to go to work at Tesla. You're going to take class and training. You're going to be certified. Okay, you want to be a bus driver. You're going to take a class. You're going to know how to drive a bus. You want to go to the armed services. You're going to take a class. And you're going to take a test to learn to be certified in whatever you do. There is nothing in life other than homelessness. Hold on. If you're homeless, you got to learn, you got to walk the streets and learn, where do we sleep? Where do we go? Where do we go get blood? Where do we go? How do we eat? How do we go get money? When it gets cold, where do we go? Where's the bus stop? Where's the warming center? How do I get a bus pass? Where do I plug in my phone? Where do I sleep when it rains? So there is no place in life where you can go and remain ignorant. It is no place. So for the lazy man, poverty is coming upon you. Because you're not taking advantage of the season. I don't feel like doing nothing. No problem. Because nothing's going to get you. It's going to just be a matter of time. It's tick-tock, tick-tock, I promise you. So ask yourself, man, how old am I? What skills do I have that if I left this job, I could say, I am certified, I have a degree, and I have this skill set, which is so unique that I got to get paid. And if you don't have that, then you realize you're headed toward poverty. Am I making sense? So now these 7 years, Joseph has to figure out how to handle 7 years of great things. So that means during these 20, 30, 40 years of your life, the question is, how do you make as much? And what do I do with the stuff that I make? I tell people even things like, okay, now as soon as you can, buy property. As soon as you can. But that's not my dream home. Yeah, we're not talking about dream home. We're talking about asset. Buy you a little 3-bedroom, little spot somewhere, fix it up, best you can, stay there a couple of years, let the equity build. Now for the first time, your money is working for you. Or you can rent and stay there. And then when you rent, after 7 years, guess what's going to happen to your money? Nothing. The landlord, you're just paying off their asset. So now what does Joseph do during 7 years? Quite simply, he laid up food in the cities, and he stored up for abundance. Let's look at this. So now in the 7 plentiful years, the ground brought forth abundantly. So now as this ground is bringing up stuff, so what did Joseph do? Verse 48, he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt and laid up the food in cities. So this means this, that during your time, during your summer season, you don't just gather up, but you gather up in different places. So you store up money not just in your checking account, not just in your savings account. This is what we do. Some of us just do checking. And so we just want to just look at it and spend it. You do a savings account, but the savings account really is no good. Why? Because your money ain't doing nothing. It's just sitting there. and at most is making, what, 0.5%, something. Then you have to think about, what am I investing? What we haven't talked about, even in our community, is this idea that you can never account for time. The man or woman who starts investing in their 20s and starts working in their investments and their 401k and their investment strategy in their 20s, even if it's minimal, the gift of time plus interest is favorable for you. If you start in your 40s, you have lost 20 years of interest. Don't be mad because, well, I can only put this much away. Don't be mad about that. Just keep putting that much away. And then as you get raises, don't eat your raise. As you get raises, keep investing. Learn how to live a certain way. Because Joseph says, as the money was coming in, as the grain was storing in, he began to store it up in different cities, right? And he laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. So that means he said, I've got to make sure that there's not a gap between me making the money and the money going to where I want it to go to. So during the seasons of plenty, what you want to do is you want to do some automatic stuff. Don't put stuff in savings and then say, eventually I'm going to start a 401k. I just get down there and talk to my HR department about it. You got to start automatically saving, stuff automatically going in. Set it up so that it goes in without you knowing about it. Set it up and just let it go. You'll learn, because at first you're going to be like, oh, I'm missing that $30. And then after about a week, after about a month, you'll get used to living, and you won't even think about that. And then when you get a raise, what do? You say, I'm putting more in there, and I'm gonna get used because I don't want to just eat my raise and keep saving $30. So now, it says this, that he put the land, that he stored up all the food for 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and he laid up the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the fields. So he didn't have one spot. Here's most of our problem. We have one spot. So you got one spot where you're saving up money. You got one spot where you're investing. Notice, he says, wherever the income comes, I'm going to put it there. Right? I'm going to put it in a storage right there. And Joseph gathered very much grain as the sand of the sea until he stopped counting. That's what I mean by forgetting about it. Where your gathering is so automatic that you don't think about it no more. Because what you got to do is you got to set up your gathering so that it surpasses your greed. So you got to set up gatherings so that it just goes, because you're not going to want to take that $500 a month and pull it out of your account and do the transfer. Because you're going to say, ooh, wait a minute. I got to do this. I need to do that. And I can take this money right here. I'm going to put it back. Man, I'm going to put it back. I know I'm going to put it back. I just got to, just this month, I got to do this with it. And we never put it back. And so he says, until they stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. Because he started storing up so much within 7 years that he said, I don't even know what the number is anymore. I know we're storing over there, we're storing over there, we're storing over there, and we're storing over there. Now, it says this, that now, I love this, verse 50, because it shows the mentality of Joseph. Because to act right in the time where you're getting stuff means you got to have the right attitude. Now, it says Joseph was born 2 sons before the year of the famine to his wife. Now, his wife, Asenath, literally was the daughter of the high Egyptian priest. So Joseph gets married, get this, to a pagan priest's wife. So a kingdom man is married, he is living in a pagan country, and he marries a pagan priest's wife. But he never worships the pagan god. So you can be among them and work with them, but never worship what they worship. Am I making sense? You can be, that means everybody that gets saved don't have to work at the church. You can work in secular society and be in industry and do well in industry and be amongst people who are not saved and still do well without compromising your spiritual integrity. Am I making sense? Because so you don't have to ask your boss to be saved. You want your boss to be your boss. If you have a chance to witness, witness. But the best witness you can have with your boss is to show what an effective worker you are. Because that opens your boss up to say, man, you are so effective. How do you operate this way? Man, you do such a great job. I'm interested in what your values are. That's where your witness comes, not in that old unsaved Philistine got me again. So Joseph marries he marries Asenath, and they have two sons. He called the firstborn son Manasseh. Manasseh, that suffix in Hebrew literally means God has let me forget. I'm saying it again. The attitude that Joseph had during his season where he's growing, where things are coming up for him finally, is based upon his ability to forget his hurt. The reason why many of us can't take advantage of the season is because we have identified with our injury, and we're still talking about the people who hurt us. And so you can't take advantage of stuff because you're so busy. I'll never let nobody get me again. And so you're operating off of vulnerability, and you're operating in protection mode. So there are some fights you have on the job that have nothing to do with your job. There are some wars you engage in that have nothing to do with that person. They have everything to do with the issue, with your long-term issues of injury, where you have identified, I ain't gonna never let nobody talk to me this way. Why? Because somebody talked to you this way 18 years ago. And so your boss can't say, get it done. Because when they say, just get it done, your head turns around and you coming over the desk at them. Now you fired. Now you done caught a case because you snatched that heifer from the back of her hair and everything because she disrespected you. She was unsaved, and I got tired. I couldn't have it no more, Pastor. That day she said to me, she gonna look at me and say, just get it done, and turn around and walk off. I said, you don't walk off from me. And before I knew it, I climbed over that desk, grabbed her by the back of her head, by the short hair, pulled her back to me, looked at her in her face. Now I got a small case on me. I'm not trying, but the Lord gonna deliver me. The Lord gonna deliver me. That's the enemy. Listen. He says, listen. After 15 years of being done by family, by co-workers, by friends, by people who are over him, he does not live life through the identity of victim. Now I'm going to say something bold to my brown-skinned people. We are in a season where we have got to collectively get over the idea of victim. And listen, if you want to pick it, you can pick it. If you want to lobby, you can lobby. But listen, you better get your butt out there and get you some degrees and some certifications and some skill sets and everything else. Because if you're valuable to people, people will hire you. If you're not valuable to people, they will not hire you. And now the market is shifting and you get none for being you. So stop writing stories about it. Please let me in because I am the grandchild of a sharecropper. Nobody cares. Please let me in because my GPA is high enough and I've shown the proficiency over time that I should be in this program. I've graduated first in my class. I've done this. I've done that. I've done that. I deserve to be in this class by my own merits. Am I making sense? We've got to graduate. Listen, you got to get a Manasseh in your life. You got to forget. The last teacher I had, okay, get over that. I'm not the last teacher. The last program I had did me wrong. Nobody cares about that. So his first child is called Manasseh. Manasseh means to forget. Am I making sense?
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you liked this message, you can find the rest at cmllcstore.com. We invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sundays at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible, and you can get all your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to The Rock ATX on YouTube and follow The Rock ATX on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. You can also get connected on our website at therockatx.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.